East Brainerd Road, Chattanooga. And I'm Sorgene 12, Chief Meteorologist Manager for
The Radio 92.7.
We just started a family and we're already planning for the future. Michael Levy has helped pave the way to keep our financial future on track. He's local, he knows us, and cares about what's important to us. Don't put your future on hold. Call Michael Levy, 779-7755.
Merry Christmas. Well, let's take a look at the naughty and nice list. Well, let's see here. There's Sonny, and there's Deb, and even Eddie made the list too. Well, let's look at the naughty list. Well, there's Billy and Greg. If you think you're on the naughty list, stop by Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds and get 70% off select merchandise in the store. Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road, Chattanooga.
The Radio 92.7.
Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Blues. I'm Nick Leffew, joined alongside me, Jason Kirk. Sam Jordan looks like Hank Williams.
I was just saying Hank Williams in the production booth.
I'm not really sure what that's all about.
He looks like Hank.
He does kind of look like Hank, doesn't he?
I wish he would come in here.
Yeah, well, he won't grace us with his presence.
Oh, well. Yeah. Some sad news. President Bush died.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't even see that last night.
It happened like midnight.
Yeah, well, I was asleep.
The only way I knew was I got elbowed by the better half. Like,
yeah. No, I saw that this morning, and that is very sad news. We don't talk a lot of politics on this show, but I'll say this. It's amazing how in 30 years,
here's Hank.
Politics have changed to the point where we could, whether you agreed with their politics or not, you could always still respect the person
That's true.
that held the office. That has changed in the last 30 years because people just don't respect the office. And
True.
I don't think you saw one negative thing about President Bush last night. And it's sad news. Sad news to anytime we lose a president. It's always sad.
Exclusive staff now. There's only like four remaining.
What is that? That's Obama,
Jimmy Carter.
Bush, Carter.
Oh, we've already
made somebody mad. Call us Nigga Radio.
Good morning.
I know you're a sports show, but I disagree. I think they should dig up Nixon and McNamara and make sure the bastards are dead. As far as Bush is concerned, he was a slime ball. He was a one world order guy. He hated Reagan. I can care less. They should put him in a baggie and bury him in the backyard for the dogs. Thanks.
Okay. Well, everybody's a critic. No, but look, I'll always respect the folks who have the office of president. Thanks, Jason.
Sliders are hard.
Whether I agree with them or not, that person's doing more for the country than I ever will. Whether I agree with it or not. So I'm always going to respect the person, whether I can't stand them or not. I'm going to respect them.
That's just the office.
Yeah, it's the office more than the person that holds it.
So are you about to go open up a concert?
Well, I won't sing, but we'll be playing Christmas tunes down in Dalton at the convention center for the Trade Bank Christmas show that's going on.
You wearing?
I'm wearing a hat to cover my head. That's all.
Round two. Fight me. Good morning.
Who do you think the best president was, Nick?
Me?
That's a loaded question.
I mean, here's my thing is that I've only been alive for
28 years.
28 years. So Daddy Bush was the first one while I was even alive. I don't know that I can necessarily comment on things that happened before my life.
History. It's called history.
Yeah. I always been a fan of Reagan. Growing up, that's what I was in my family. That's what I was. That's what I was taught.
I'm talking about the NFL. I was president of the NFL.
What? That wasn't your initial question.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely not Roger
I
Goodell.
smell set up.
By the way, I can tell Nick is running the board, because if he wasn't, as he was utilizing Bush, there'd be fart sounds in the background.
Yeah, I need to start
does those naturally.
I need to start putting in some hotkeys.
Yeah,
to give him the work.
The best president of the United States was Thomas Jefferson, but the best president. I'll tell you about that.
I mean, he did acquire a lot of land.
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson.
Say Sam Jordan, please.
Look, can we just talk about what he looks like?
Really?
Right now?
By the way, this is probably going to be the first year Sam wears padding. He lost weight. I think he's dying. So just treat him
I
well.
thought it was last night eating a particular national sub
I got work.
last night.
All you guys do is sit around and talk into a microphone. Get a real job, Mike.
I agree. I think we should. I think we all should.
Yeah.
Keep our day job.
What day job?
Yeah. I work here for my day job.
Okay. So we're going to move on from politics because I don't really know much about it.
I'm still fascinated.
I just want to know the hat. Like, what's going on with the hat, man?
Well, I'm just covering my head from the rain that's going on outside. That's all.
The hat we went with?
Yes, because my fedora was in the vehicle and to go from the house to the vehicle.
They make ball caps, Sam.
I can get the hat part, but the sunglasses.
Inside.
Well, it's
are you
bright
blind?
lights.
Are you
bright lights, especially when
Sam,
you two are here.
Look, you can't even see outside because it's so dark and gloomy. Like, why do you even have sunglasses?
That's the only way I'll look good is wearing the sunglasses.
Well, I'm glad you think that you look good.
Oh.
Louisville plays a big game today.
Yeah, well, there are. This is
Georgia's going to upset Alabama and the SEC championship.
Well, that's a hot take that probably nobody agrees with.
Everybody was saying Thursday night the Cowboys weren't going to beat the Saints, and look what happened.
That was a brutal game.
Okay, first off, that is a regular season NFL game that means nothing. And that
when the Saints have been hot,
it means nothing to the Saints. It's a Thursday night football game that means nothing. I'm sorry if I see them in the playoffs, the Cowboys don't have a chance. The game that the regular season NFL doesn't matter.
But the pickup of Amari Cooper, I think, has made Dallas a heck of a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
now they need to go pick up a quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh,
because they don't have one because they still can't score points. They have a great defense, but defense does not win championships anymore.
No,
that defense is running through New Orleans.
Offense wins championships, plain and simple. That's the way football has changed. Look at what even Nick Saban has done to change the fact that he knows that defense doesn't win championships anymore. So what's he do? He rolls out and puts the best offense to ever see the field ever.
Speaking of offense, and I'm not really trying to change the subject.
Yeah, you are.
No, offensive coordinator at Tennessee.
It's a mess, man. It's an absolute mess. I can't even.
Hugh Freeze coming or not?
The board's trying to block. The board of trustees is trying to block the hire.
Hugh Freeze?
Hugh Freeze.
You think they're wanting to go with T. Martin instead?
If they hire T. Martin, I'm not buying season tickets again.
Why?
Because T. Martin's a terrible offensive coordinator. I love T. T did a lot of great things for the University of Tennessee, but I don't want him back. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. I don't want him even coaching quarterback.
You heard it here.
The one thing that I'm really surprised about is we're even considering Hugh Freeze as the OC.
He's the best offensive mind that's available.
Yeah, but it's his past track history.
I'm at the point now, Sam, I don't care. I just want to win. I could care less about what they do in their personal life. I've gotten to that point. It's not like he's enabling pedophiles like the last guy we blocked. He literally got some hookers while he was out on the road. Yeah. Is that probably the wrong thing to do? Yeah. Would I do it? No.
Oh, Emmy would kill you.
Well, obviously, but no, I'm not doing that. But Hugh Freeze can do what he wants in his personal life as long as it's not super illegal.
Okay.
Or being used with UT money.
Obviously, we're not hiring a head coach either. We're hiring an offensive coordinator. He's not going to ever talk to the media because Pruitt doesn't allow his coordinators to do so. So what does it matter? The guy can call plays. He's been very successful calling plays. If that's who Pruitt and Fulmer want, then Board of Trustees, shut your mouth. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear you talk anyway because you're just a bunch of rich white old men that nobody cares about.
Well, here's
But they
my
have all
opinion
the
about
power
it.
and all the money.
No, all the money comes from the athletic department. Let's be very clear.
That's very true. It really is. But here's the thing. I agree with you in that statement. We normally don't agree on things, but I agree with you about the board of directors for the UT system should not have anything to do with it, because you've got your chancellor, you got your president, and then the athletic director. Those three alone can say, all right, Pruitt, you made a bad hire, you're going to have to go, or force them to.
I'm sorry. I don't think the board of trustees nor the president or chancellor should be able to make any decisions in the athletic department. That's why we have an athletic director. That's why Philip Fulmer is the vice chancellor and athletic director. Or excuse me, its actual title is director of athletics.
Yeah. But I mean, don't micromanage. Let your people that is supposed to be in charge of that particular department take care of the business instead of interfering from Knoxville,
It's the same
a couple times a
story,
year.
and there's a lot of actual words I want to say, but there is the same story that happens every time. This university does not care about winning.
That's a bold statement.
They don't. It's obvious. Look at the way the leadership has handled this the last 20 years. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care about winning. It's time for the fans to quit going. If this is what's going to happen, then just empty that stadium and give them no money.
But that's never, ever going to happen.
I don't know. You start seeing at the end of this year, nobody was there. I guarantee you, if they make us hire some idiot that doesn't know what they're doing, fans are about over it. They've already nixed one hire. They did that last year. Now you're getting close to the point where these fans, the worst thing you can have with your fans is apathy, and it's getting real close.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't let Hugh Freeze come here, and that's what Pruitt wants, and that's what Fulmer wants, then, the emails that I will be writing to interim president Randy Boyd.
Do you really think that Fulmer is totally on board with Hugh
100%.
Freeze?
Fulmer's on board with whatever Pruitt wants.
Fulmer just wants to win.
Yeah, and look at what Fulmer did. Fulmer, look, you go back to when Fulmer was the coach, he did whatever it took to win.
Right. Well, back then, coaches were allowed to do that.
He turned in Alabama for cheating and couldn't even set foot in that state for a long time.
Yeah.
Because, it was dangerous for his health.
And since, he does live in the southern part of Tennessee, right near the Alabama line, boulders are still pitched over that.
Yeah. So, look, if Fulmer wants to win, I watched Fulmer on the Feinbaum show yesterday. He was down in Atlanta, and Feinbaum did an interview with him. Of course, as everyone knows, Paul Feinbaum is a University of Tennessee alum.
Mm-hmm.
Fulmer made it very clear that that their goal is to win, and he thinks Pruitt can do so if he's given everything he needs. So far, Fulmer has given him everything he needs. Fulmer's trying to do it again, and I swear, if the board of trustees gets involved, I'm going to lose my mind. I might go to Knoxville myself. Because I'm over this. I'm over the university not caring.
So did we get the bail money together?
I ain't going to jail. I'm going to do it peacefully.
Okay.
You have the right to peacefully assemble.
You do have the right to peacefully assemble. You're exactly right.
Yeah, but I know that's going to last 15 seconds with Nick.
Look, I will say this, though. Randy Boyd did come out last night on Twitter, because apparently people blew up his Twitter. Man's probably just trying to have a nice dinner with his family on a Friday night, and people are calling him names on Twitter. And he made a statement. He said the board of trustees and myself have nothing to do. Fulmer and Pruitt have everything to do with this hire. I don't know if I believe that, but that's what he said.
Well, Boyd's going to have to sign off on it, as well as...
He's the interim president. He doesn't even have the job.
Yeah, it was just like when they tried to hire Shiano last year, which he may be in a better position, because if the heart conditions or the brain aneurysm there with
they're not hiring him
as the replacement for Urban Meyer at Columbus.
They didn't even give him the interim job while Meyer was suspended.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, Shiano ain't getting no head coaching job in college football. Are you kidding me? Nobody likes the guy. Yeah. The NFL players said they ran when he was the coach at Tampa Bay, they said he ran the organization like it was Cuba. Okay, nobody likes the guy. He's Butch Jones 2.0. Nobody likes him.
Yeah.
And he's just as bad of a football coach because guess what? He gave up 69 points to a Butch Jones coach team when he was at Rutgers.
$2.
That's fine.
So, okay.
And not
but to finish my point, I mean, you had to have those 4 signatures, plus the.
But why is Fulmer not the only signature that matters?
You got to have the state treasurer as a signature, the chancellor, and the president.
I say we just go rogue.
Okay. All right.
I think Fulmer wants to lead that rogue charge. If he doesn't get the interference.
Let's see. The man's in his time at the University of Tennessee. I love Philip Fulmer, by the way. He's one of my favorite people on the planet. He backstabbed Johnny Majors and he backstabbed John Curry. That man ain't scared to backstab nobody if he thinks it's the best for Tennessee.
Mr. Tennessee.
You can't argue that point.
And look, Philip Fulmer can, if there's anybody that can lead this program back to being successful, it is Philip Fulmer. Here's what I suggest. Pay Hugh Freeze about $2.5 million. Okay. Match Pruitt's salary. Okay. Yeah, no, listen, hear me out. This would never happen, but this is what I would want. Hugh Freeze, OC / co-head coach. Pruitt, DC / co-head coach. Actual head coach, Philip Fulmer. So let him actually just do the media stuff, do the in-game management stuff that he was always really, really good at doing, and let the other guys coach football. You don't even have to put Pruitt and Freeze in the same side of the building. You don't even have to put them in the same building if you don't want to. You coach defense, you coach offense.
Well, I see that Mr. Rose is here.
And Phil can just wear his orange sweater vest and stroll down the sidelines because that's what's better for this university is Philip Fulmer.
It's raining.
Okay, so Keon, you agree? Okay? Can we talk about the hat for a second? Keon Rose is joining us now, and he just now saw Sam's get up.
No, I'm not going to sing for you.
Okay, thank goodness. Combination hoodie and
cowboy hat.
Cowboy hat. Now you said it's raining. The hoodie does come with a hood.
Yes.
Okay. just checking.
The more you know.
I'd love to instigate conversation here.
And can we talk about how he has his sunglasses on?
Yeah, even though you can't see, from me to Nick outside.
Oh, okay.
I got you.
Well,
I've learned slowly how to run the board.
Well, you know what I told him earlier when they asked that? Of course, Nick would ask that. I look better with sunglasses than I do without.
And I said, it's amazing that you think you look good right now.
That is, I'm gonna second that opinion. Also, you look like you should be holding a guitar, but the kind of guitar that also has the harmonica thing.
Yeah. Tom Petty now. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
He's been upgraded now.
There are so many things to dissect with this cowboy hat.
It's not a cowboy hat.
Or whatever.
He looks like you picked that up somewhere in Arizona on some tribal land.
Actually, I got it in Nashville.
Same thing.
Same thing. Let's see. We got some stones.
I look better with my Toby Keith hat.
Oh, God. So let's see. We got some stones going on the hat.
This also appears to be a more summer hat because there are holes in the hat.
It's December 1st.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for his phone to ring and you hear, like, beer for my horses.
I'm waiting for the phone to ring and Beth go, why did you take my hat?
Oh, shots fired.
Wow.
Shots fired.
Alrighty.
This has been a great segment.
Sam Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay.
You only roast people you like.
Yeah.
You don't roast people you don't like.
You don't waste
Are you sure you like me?
You don't waste the energy on people you don't like, just like Jason said. And so it's only good fun, although I can't take you seriously right now.
Well, it's good to be lighthearted.
I just got a text. 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. I was like, you leaving? Peace.
Yeah, dude.
Peace.
I'm leaving.
That's not okay. So
After
that
roast,
sense why
I'm leaving.
Yes.
Okay, you're
Yes.
leaving. Well, where are you? Oh, you're going down.
I'm going to Dalton for the Trade Bank Christmas show.
Devil
I'm
went down to
seeing
Dalton.
it, but without the cowboy hat or sunglasses.
Well, I think that they'll thank you for that. They'll appreciate that.
The devil went down to Dalton looking for some bank to steal.
Yeah. Well, have a
Good
great
times.
show, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks
Sam.
for joining us, and thanks for bringing up Hugh Freeze, because that doesn't get my blood boiling already early this morning, because we want to apparently block the hire of Hugh Freeze as offensive coordinator.
But why?
Because the university's board of trustees are a bunch of old morons.
Because he loves to partake in hookers.
Who cares?
That's look.
Again, some people are trying to compare it to the same thing that fans were doing to Shiano. Completely different.
Hookers and child molestation.
First off, if you just talk about football, Hugh Freeze is successful.
Yes.
So that's one thing.
That's the start.
That's one thing. That man beat Alabama 2 times in a row, once with Bo Wallace at quarterback. Bo Wallace.
It's unbelievable.
Who
Also,
the hell is Bo Wallace?
people like playing for Hugh Freeze. There's been the players have all come out and said, not all, but overwhelmingly, they didn't like playing for Shiano. Even in the NFL, where guys are, you're paid so you don't have to actually have fun.
Mm-hmm.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers players said that Greg Schiano actively made football not fun.
Yeah, they said it was like Cuba.
How do you do that?
They said it was like Cuba.
Cuba.
It's a game. How do you make it not fun to play?
So that's problem number one. Problem number two, people were trying to compare it to the fact. Well, we'll talk about this. We'll break this down in the next segment. But Hugh Freeze and Greg Schiano comparison is absolutely a joke. So we'll get back to that in the next segment. You're listening to The Breakfast Blitz. Nick Leffew, Keon Rose, Jason Kirk. We'll be right back.
Three, two, one.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
A Bradley County jail inmate just got himself in a whole new world of trouble. The sheriff's office says Nathan Maddox improvised an incendiary device, used it to burn a hole in his window. They also found a makeshift rope in his room. Because there are 52 inmates and a guard in the cell block, he's been charged with 53 counts of aggravated arson, also charged with vandalism over $1,000 and attempted escape. 2 trucks slammed into each other in Hickson. Investigators say a Nissan truck headed south veered into the adjacent lane, crashing into a Ford truck. Both drivers taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Neither driver appeared to be impaired and no charges are pending. And for the first time ever, the Whitwell Tigers will head to Cookeville for a state football championship. There was a massive send-off party as Whitwell residents gathered to show their support for the home team. They face the Cornersville High School Bulldogs tomorrow in Cookeville. Val St. John for Nooga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News Now.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Martin Truex Jr. is off the pace and he is headed to the pit lane. Elliott powers around the outside. Michael McDowell pops a right front tire. Here's Martin Truex to the bottom. Blaney blocks him off too. Meanwhile, Chase Elliott went 4 wide on the back straightaway. They're side by side for the lead.
Hear it live on Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station.
Nooga Radio 92.7 FM, 95.3 HD4.
The voice of NASCAR.
Merry Christmas. Well, let's take a look at the naughty and nice list. Well, let's see here. There's Sonny, and there's Deb, and even Eddie made the list too. Well, let's look at the naughty list. Well, there's Billy and Greg. If you think you're on the naughty list, stop by Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds and get 70% off select merchandise in the store. Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road, Chattanooga.
For your small business, ending the year the right way can set you up for success come January. No need to let end-of-year panic set in. Easy Books and Taxes can help set up your books or new payroll service so that you can relax and enjoy the holiday season. With 35 years, bookkeeping, individual and business tax preparation, it's easy. With Easy Books and Taxes, you run the business, we keep the books. Call us today at 423-755-0821.
Man, you sure you know what you're doing?
Yeah, I work with my dad on his truck all the time. Just one more bolt to go.
Yeah, wrong bolt. Today's truck ain't your daddy's truck. For repairs on today's vehicles, you need Amco Transmission and Total Car Care of Chattanooga on Lee Highway. Stay on the road, not in the garage. Amco Transmission on Lee Highway. Get it done the right way. The Thompson Pet way. Yeah, I just put that anywhere.
Hi, this is Scott Schrader. Tune in Saturdays for We've Got You Covered. From finance to fixtures and all things in between, when it comes to your home, we'll help steer you in the right direction. We've Got You Covered, 10 to 12 every Saturday on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Staying cloudy, wet, and mild out there through your evening hours. A little breezy as well with more showers pushing through. High 60 to 62. Tonight, any showers will diminish, staying mild overnight, but drier, lows lower 50s. Beautiful Sunday, sunshine, upper 60s, a little cooler Monday. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's. Home with the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily. Locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm Sorgene 12, Chief Meteorologist, Patch Report.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Welcome back to the Breakfast Blitz. I'm Nick Leffew. Keon Rose joining me alongside me. Him is Jason Kirk sitting in the back row Baptist back there.
Back row Baptist. Get my crayons.
That's me in church every Sunday morning, sitting in the back row, enjoying my church.
Trying to stay awake.
Well, my pastor does a pretty good job of keeping me awake, but that's nice. All right, we're gonna.
Let me tell you though, those Southern Baptist preachers, when they start screaming at you, woo!
Yeah, when they put both hands on the pulpit,
they start sweating. You know it's about to go down.
Yeah, that's when you know it's
about to go down.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we'll go into the game in just a second, but before we do that, I want to continue my Shiano to Freeze comparison, which I think is absolute trash from national media. Because first off, let's just be very clear. Most people on Twitter that are national media, people like Dan Wolken, idiot, Dan Wetzel, Dennis Dodd, all these people, they block me on Twitter because of things I have called them.
Is that your crowning achievement?
And said that, no, I'm blocked. I'm blocked by many. Loved by few.
That's the way it's got to be in radio.
At Nick Leffew, block. Okay.
So they their takes are very bad, and Stuart Mandel, who is I believe is he SI? I believe he's an SI writer.
I think so.
He's an idiot too, and he was basically doing the same. He was doing the same stuff. He's like, "Oh, Tennessee fans, you want to block Shiano, but you don't want to block Freeze." Shiano enabled pedophilia.
That's not the same.
Hugh Freeze slept with some prostitutes.
Yep. Hugh Freeze was in the process of just simply blowing up his own marriage. Which he's
still married to this woman, by the way.
Which that's if you can somehow find a woman that somehow can stick to you through that, like that, never disappoint her again.
Ever.
So I feel like his days of that are done, if he has any sense at all, because you don't find women that are going to stick to you through prostitution very often. But I will say this. Also, the positions that they were applying for, not the same position.
Yeah, he's not the head coach.
Yeah, so it's just a different, like, even if you could compare what they did as apples to apples, which you absolutely cannot. The fact of the matter is, I wouldn't want Hugh Freeze to be my head coach either, but no one's asking him to be a head coach.
Especially not right now. Give him a reclamation project for a few years, then sure, if he continues to show that he's changed and he doesn't do that stuff anymore, then yeah, fine. You can hire him as a head coach. We're not trying to hire him to be the head coach. Look, I wouldn't have been as upset if Shiano was going to be the defensive coordinator, although I think he's a very bad defensive coordinator.
So that too.
Again, that's a whole nother side of it. Hugh Freeze has called plays in the SEC and been very successful. Greg Schiano has called plays in the Big Ten and been very mediocre. Okay. And so I think that's also got to add into it a little bit. But my thing is, the big thing is to compare what the two did is completely stupid.
And that's the reason why our justice system tries to account for that stuff. You don't execute everybody for every crime. You know, like
crimes. We're not God. Crimes and transgressions. We're human. We weigh them differently.
Yeah, they have different weight. If someone steals something from a Walmart, they're not going to the chair. You know, like that's excessive. It's insane.
You stole some chapstick. Let's go.
So yeah, right.
You accidentally put that chapstick in your pocket.
Yep.
Forgot about it.
Yeah, that Burt's Bees. That's gonna cost you your life. No. So obviously, you can get a job if you're Hugh Freeze, because one thing is pretty much a crime against your wife, and the government doesn't like that either. The other one is a crime against multiple young children.
And can we talk about how he still has a job anyway?
Right. So it's not like, and so why isn't anybody talking about that? I mean,
well, and then Ohio State, you know, because the big talk right now is Urban Meyer going to come back next year? And then somebody was saying, well, Greg Schiano's there. He could, you know, step in. And Ohio State fans are losing their minds.
Right.
Which is fair. They did that when Tennessee blocked the hire. They wanted him fired last year. Because they're like, hold on. We didn't realize. Wait. We didn't
sign up for anything.
Well, is this the same guy that was at Penn State now? Wait, what?
Well, because again, as a defensive coordinator, you don't think about it as much because he's behind the scenes. He's not interviewing all the time. He's not out. He's not the face of your program. Not to sit here and say that Urban Meyer, you know, is a shining beacon of greatness.
Oh, he's a shining something. All right.
He's a turd.
Thank you.
But I'll say this too. Also, like you mentioned, Greg Schiano, not actually good at his job. This is one of the worst Ohio State defenses I have ever seen in life. It's terrible.
How good at your job do you have to be you're doing your job and you're not doing a very good job at it? And they're like, okay, so we're going to bring in a co-defensive coordinator this year, Alex Grinch, who's one of the highest, you know, thought of defensive minds. Bet you Schiano don't make it to next year, and Alex Grinch is the single defensive coordinator.
When they brought him in, though, that defense got 2 times better. They can actually stop people a little bit. It's
still bad, but it's better than it was.
Without Nick Bosa, I think they're missing a lot in the middle too. So that's part of it. But they weren't defending well before he got injured, and I blame Schiano entirely. You don't like. He's like, you have to rank all of the things that are connected to this, because this is football. So you do have to go, okay, well, a guy's done something really wrong. So does he deserve a second chance? Yeah, well, people deserve second chances. But then the other thing is the guy actually good at his job? Is he actually worth the headache that he's bringing with him? Greg Schiano isn't, never was, cannot possibly ever be, because he's not good at being a defensive coordinator.
And am I going to sit here and say that Hugh Freeze is going to come in and I know for a fact he's going to be successful? No. You know, he's been out of the game for a couple of years.
Yeah, and
things change
very quickly in college football. Very quickly.
But Hugh Freeze did it at a higher level than Greg Schiano ever did it. You know, Greg Schiano had that one year where he had Ray Rice at running back at Rutgers, who, by the way, he didn't recruit. The previous coach did. And took them to what? They went to a BCS Bowl when that was, I believe they were still the Big East at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoop-de-doo. Okay. The Big East without Miami, without Virginia Tech, without Syracuse.
Right. It's the worst version of that conference, and that's why
Cincinnati was your biggest competition.
Yeah. The Bearcats.
Butch Jones in Cincinnati.
There's $3.
And by the way, he might be getting the ECU job.
Who?
Our friend.
Oh,
I tried.
Crafty Captain Kirk tried to get you to step in it.
So that's funny. Their message boards are like, I'm warming up to the idea of Butch Jones as the head coach.
Well, yeah, when you're ECU, of course you're warming up to the idea.
And then Tennessee fans on Twitter are like, don't do it.
You were going to instantly regret that.
Don't do it. Don't do it. You're in a hotbed for recruiting in North Carolina, where you can, even if you don't get the top tier North Carolina players, you're still getting North Carolina players who are good. And you can be successful. You know, Ruffin McNeil, who was the head coach there. Remember, they had that one year where they were like 11-1, and you know, were really good. They were like the media sweetheart to BCS crash. You can win there. Don't hire that guy.
Hire an actual guy that can win there. Yeah,
Don't hire that guy. Please don't hire that guy. I don't wish that on anybody. I don't even think I would wish that on Alabama. I don't think I would.
You're too nice. I would definitely wish that on Oklahoma.
No, I would wish it on Vanderbilt. So like if they're,
we haven't talked about that yet. I'm just waiting.
Well, I mean, can we talk about that Tennessee team was an absolute shell of itself. Jarrett Garantano looked lost. The offensive line was a train wreck. I mean, I knew that was what was going to happen going into that game. Tennessee was too depleted to even be able to compete right there. I knew that was what was going to happen. Tennessee had to come out guns a-blazing early to have a chance to beat that Vanderbilt team. It was a bad matchup.
Which makes Derek Mason the second winningest coach against Tennessee in the history of Vanderbilt.
Yep. By the way, he ain't going to be there much longer. He's probably going to take one of those jobs out in the Pac-12.
Probably. But, I mean, it's just pretty crazy when you think about it.
It is.
To go find the next winningest coach against Tennessee, you have to go all the way back to 1930.
Yeah, because you guys probably aren't as Tennessee historically, that's all this is.
I had to do research.
It's all orange. Yeah, it's all research.
That's how we got there.
When General Neyland was hired in the late 20, I think it was 29 or 30, when General Neyland was hired, his one caveat was, we're hiring you to beat Vanderbilt. Because that was when Vanderbilt was a power. Nobody was beaten. It was Vanderbilt and Swanee were the two powers in the South. In the original Southeastern Conference. Vanderbilt, let's see, it was Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, Tulane, Sewanee. Actually, Sewanee, I think, was in the actual SoCon back then.
No, they made it to the SEC.
Were they a founding member? They probably were.
I think they were.
So, yeah, because that was back when, that Tennessee was in the Southern Conference before the SEC formed, and that's where Swanee's rivalry became the thing, and they were really good. They were really good. Things changed. Now they're like NAIA.
Right.
Not even relevant.
You have to go all the way back to then to find the next winningest coach who won 6 in a row against Tennessee. That's never going to happen.
And that's when General Neyland came in and said, no. And changed the trajectory of both programs.
Yeah, forever.
Because, by the way, General Neyland didn't just coach football. He coached baseball as well at the University of Tennessee.
Which is amazing. And also, that's never going to happen again. You talk about trends that will never repeat in sports. A coach going to a school and coaching 2 sports at that level? No.
So what we're gonna do? We're gonna play this game.
Yeah, University of the South, Georgia, Georgia Tech, and Tulane were all founding members, in addition to the other core schools.
So I believe Tennessee, Alabama.
Yep, University.
Alabama.
Yep.
As Eli Gold would say.
10 of the 13 remained. So you take what we have now, and then you add the other 3.
Oh, and by the way, we're gonna break down the SEC championship, but I want to get this in before we play our game. I'm going to probably, while I'm watching the game, turn the sound down because 1, I don't want to listen to Gary Danielson's idiotic takes. 2,
it's always best to listen to Eli.
No, I'm not going to actually listen. I'm going to listen to Eli some because I love Eli Gold. I think he's outstanding at his job. But I want to listen to the Georgia guys because here's why. Because they're so fangirl.
Yes,
Georgia
they
football.
are.
And when things go wrong for Georgia, it's great to listen to them. So that's what I'm actually going to do. Because last year when Tua threw that touchdown pass, like, oh no, Alabama wins. Didn't even say what happened. He goes, oh no, Alabama.
Oh, that's
wins.
beautiful.
Yeah.
God, yes. Nothing makes me happier than to watch Georgia suffer. So when they get their teeth kicked in today, it's going to be
And
great.
if anything, with Georgia, with their sports play-by-play, if, someone falls on their knee, oh no.
Oh,
no,
Nick Chubb's down again. Nick Chubb tore his other ACL.
He may be broken. Oh no. Let's say a prayer.
I love how Nick Chubb hasn't had one injury issue since he's gone to the NFL. Maybe you need to check out your training staff there, Georgia.
That's very possible. It's very possible.
Someone's getting some.
And it looks like it's Twitter.
It does look like it's Twitter. The fight continues.
Ding ding.
All right, let's play a game, Jason. We need to start getting some like bed music, like game show music going.
It happened eventually. Just give me time.
All right.
Who was the shortest player?
Wait, what is this game? You got to introduce the game.
It's a game.
Okay, what is it, like trivia?
It's a trivia.
Yeah, are you Jigsaw? What's the game? Time to play a game. What are we doing?
It's just a funno,
just trivia,
BS trivia game today.
Right.
Okay, let's do it.
Who was the shortest player ever to play in the NBA?
Muggsy Bogues? Oh, that ever? No, probably
Ever.
not.
Isn't it Spud?
Is it Spud Webb? Yeah,
Spud Webb.
Tyrone Bugs.
Oh, it was
It
Muggsy
was.
Bogues.
Oh, well, how about that?
Look at him.
1 point, Nick.
I need a thing here goes ding.
Yeah, I need a buzzer. We should like smack the table.
I need like a hotel, like a service bell. Ding. What male tennis player has won the most Grand Slam titles?
Roger Federer.
Bjorn Borg.
Roger Federer.
Oh, when did that
2 to
happen?
nothing.
When did that happen?
Easy question. How many holes are in a full round of golf?
18.
Knock on the thing.
Oh, is that how we do that?
I didn't realize we were taking turns, actually.
I don't know. Go ahead. Yeah. What was it?
He was right.
18. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I think we'll just agree on that. I didn't realize that was up for debate.
What is
24.
professional wrestler John Cena's catchphrase?
Oh God, I don't watch
Oh,
wrestling.
no, I don't
know.
Here's the thing. I like wrestling. I don't like wrestling. That's wrestling, and I don't know wrestling.
It's not. Can
I know
you
his
smell what
song.
the Rock is cooking?
No, that would be the Rock.
That would be the Rock. I know his song. You know, dun, 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 dun. I don't know.
What's his catchphrase?
What he says.
You can't see me.
Oh, I guess I didn't know that.
That's it.
Magic Man.
With the hand.
Yeah, with a hand.
Now you see me. Now you don't.
Who is the only athlete to ever play in both the World Series and a Super Bowl?
Deion Sanders.
Ding ding.
Yeah, because he played. He played with the Braves, I believe, in the World Series,
Yep.
and then obviously the Cowboys, and probably 49ers. Did he play for 49ers?
He did play for the Niners. Yeah.
Did he go to
Falcons, Niners, and Cowboys?
Yeah, so he probably went to a Super Bowl with both the Niners and the Cowboys.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay,
What is the regulation height of a basketball hoop?
10 feet.
He's right.
Are they going to change that, by the way? I keep hearing things funny. Could you imagine if they changed it to like 10 and a half feet or 11 feet, how bad everybody's shot would be?
Yeah, you'd have to change your shot. You'd basically ruin basketball for this generation of
it
players.
would be unwatchable.
Yeah.
And
then,
right
of course,
now, it's one of the best sports to watch.
and then,
Like
of course,
watching
like
how
dunking
good.
would be unwatchable too, because it's like who outside of maybe LeBron and Kevin Durant and like guys who are already like long and are never going to change. Who else could dunk?
Just your guys that are like 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, moving on.
What country did the sport of curling originate?
Well, there's a few options here. It could be Canada. Is it Canada?
Not Canada.
Okay, so then I'm thinking like maybe like Scandinavian countries.
I'm going to go not Scandinavian. I was just about to guess Denmark.
Russia, maybe.
Nope.
No. Okay. Is it in Europe?
It is in Europe.
Okay, because it would have been. I would have felt really bad if it was the United States.
It couldn't have been the United States. We've never come up with a sport like that. Just simply isn't possible. Now he's calling and he's going to say some things about basketball, and it's supposed to make me mad. It's not going to work.
Yes.
Hi, caller. How are you?
Does anybody really care about basketball in this market?
It's yes.
I would say more college basketball than NBA, but yeah.
The National Boozers Association. I don't think
Nope,
anybody
there's only
really
one
cares
Carlos
about
Boozer.
that.
Carlos Boozer. He couldn't shoot.
I think NASCAR is far more exciting. Hey, let's run down the court and dunk.
Oh, he turned left, and then he turned left, and then he turned left
again,
and then he turned left again.
NASCAR would be a lot more exciting if they would get rid of the way that they do these stages, and they get rid of all
Well,
this
you
stuff.
know what the difference is, Nick? You can be short, tall, fat. Well, you can't be fat, but
You actually can't tell me Stewart was fat, but
the biggest guy. We're going to pick the biggest guys to run down the court and dunk. What an exciting sport.
Well, I would say, though, that guys like Steph Curry have kind of changed that narrative, because now if you're not tall, you can – I mean, Steph Curry's what, 6'1"?
Yeah.
I mean, he's my height, 6'2", maybe. He's a little taller. I mean, you can if you can shoot.
We literally had a trivia question about the shortest basketball player.
Who was Muggsy Bogues, who was definitely shorter than me.
At 5'3".
At
5'3".
Keon should agree with me since he's like 4'8". And he'd never be a basketball player, so he should agree. Why would he want to watch those big guys?
I'm 5'10". I'll be all right. There are plenty of guys my height in the NBA actually, so it's all good.
Well, and they
Isaiah Thomas is one.
No, I could picture Keon being in a NASCAR. Well, no,
why?
Because they're all
Why would I want to do that?
Right,
Exactly. What about turning left is exciting to you that you would think I would want to do that? Turning left 4 times a race. 300 times in a day. What about that is exciting to you?
From the cops when you were a teenager, right?
Did you what?
Practice running from the cops when you were a teenager?
Never had to do that because I don't break the law.
Seriously? Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Just wondering.
I've never.
I know.
Literally, expired tags are the reason why the police pull me over. There's no driving crimes over here.
Sam Jordan has.
I stop at stop signs and count to 3.
What'd you think of Sam's hat, by the way? Did you see it?
What?
Sam's hat.
Did you say?
Did you see Sam's?
What? Sam's hat.
Did you see Sam's hat at all on the Facebook Live?
I did see Sam's hat.
Wasn't it great?
Yeah, Sam calls. He goes, "The speaker's in the Hummer." I'm like, "Yeah."
Speaker's always in the Hummer.
Well, yeah. And that's my problem. Your poor planning. Well, it's your fault. You should have known this. Why? I have nothing to do with this. Because I'm wearing my sunglasses, I can't see.
This is outstanding.
My brain's in my head.
This is outstanding.
Because I cut a hole in my head. I couldn't make this stuff up.
No, I believe the sad part is I believe he would say that stuff.
You couldn't make that hat.
I wanted something with flashing lights. Give me something with flashing lights.
Oh no!
Why would the speaker be in the Hummer where we do remotes? Why would we take a vehicle that promotes the radio station at an event? We don't want to do that. Let's not plan for that.
With the radio station logo plastered all over it. Yeah, why don't we use
let's not do it.
What normal radio stations would do.
Like normal radio stations.
An event. Yeah.
Oh, good stuff.
All right, guys. I'll see you later. I'm going to get in my car and turn left.
You're halfway there.
That was a very entertaining call.
It's always fun when he calls.
Yes, it is. That's outstanding. And he even gets in on the Sam bashing, which I absolutely love.
He likes to razz me about the whole basketball thing, and I'm just like, look. I don't want. Look, the ratings speak for themselves, man. I don't have to argue this.
How many more questions?
We have a few, but also we're about to hit a break.
So. Hit us with one more.
The answer to that one, by the way, was Scotland.
Scotland. Oh, we know. We got off
well, now I was never going to guess that one.
Okay.
A shuttlecock is used in what sport?
Badminton.
Yes.
Okay.
What team did the Chicago Bears play in the 45 World Series?
Well, the Bears didn't play anybody.
I'm sorry, the Cubs. The Cubs.
I don't know the Indians.
No.
I have no guesses.
Tigers.
Well, they definitely lost that. All right.
Hang on. One more.
You better hurry.
What football position shares its name with the 2 points in football?
I have no idea.
Safety.
Okay.
That's really good. All right. Well, we'll be right back after the national news. Breakfast Blitz. Nick Leffew, Keon Rose, Jason Kirk.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
A Bradley County jail inmate just got himself in a whole new world of trouble. The sheriff's office says Nathan Maddox improvised an incendiary device, used it to burn a hole in his window. They also found a makeshift rope in his room. Because there are 52 inmates and a guard in the cell block, he's been charged with 53 counts of aggravated arson, also charged with vandalism over $1,000 and attempted escape. 2 trucks slammed into each other in Hickson. Investigators say a Nissan truck headed south veered into the adjacent lane, crashing into a Ford truck. Both drivers taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Neither driver appeared to be impaired and no charges are pending. And for the first time ever, the Whitwell Tigers will head to Cookeville for a state football championship. There was a massive send-off party as Whitwell residents gathered to show their support for the home team. They face the Cornersville High School Bulldogs tomorrow in Cookeville. Val St. John for Nooga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News now.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
Staying cloudy, wet, and mild out there through your evening hours. A little breezy as well with more showers pushing through. High 60 to 62 tonight. Any showers will diminish, staying mild overnight, but drier. Lows lower 50s. Beautiful Sunday, sunshine, upper 60s. A little cooler Monday. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's. Home with the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily. Locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm Swargene 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Moore.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga roofing contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga roofing contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
The water we drink should be the most perfect on the planet.
At Purity Water, we set the bar extremely high. As the leader in bottleless water treatment systems, we create the healthiest, cleanest water there is, liquid purity. The Purity water cooler dispensers and coffee makers can transform your workplace with a continuous supply of clean, fresh, great-tasting water. And now, to make your day that much brighter, we're serving Stone Cup and Fleetwood Premium locally roasted coffee. Some would call that the nectar of the gods, but here at Purity Water, it's just business as usual. To put a smile on the faces of your employees and visitors, and for your free trial, give us a call at 423-894-0737 or find us online at puritydrinkingwater.com. That's puritydrinkingwater.com.
Even if you like your job, there are some things that can drive you nuts. Like the anonymous coward who steals your lunch from the break room fridge. Or maybe Tyler, the IT guy, who gives you that condescending look when you tell him that your computer is acting up again, as if somehow it's your fault. You put up with these clowns every single day. But what happens when you've had enough? That's the day you decide to retire. At least that's the hope, right? But will you be able to retire? Can you afford to retire? That's why you need to talk to Ron and Christy Adams at One Family Financial. They can't do anything about Cody, that moron who heats up fish in the microwave, but they can strategize with you on how to get the most out of your 401k or pension, how to grow your money without losing your shirt in the market, and how to help make your money last in retirement. Talk to Ron and Christy today about whether you'll be ready to retire when you finally had it with seeing Ethan walk out of the bathroom again without washing his hands. Gross. Call Ron and Christy Adams at One Family Financial, 423-710-2009, 423-710-2009.
Call 423-875-3600 if you're looking to expand your professional look of your business. Then consider the vast opportunities that are available when you locate your office with the Raines Group family. Remember, it's location, location, location. And the Raines Group has the location for your professional office. Check out the spaces for lease at Executive Business Park on the Lee Highway. Small or large, we will be able to suit your needs with the Raines Group. Call 423-875-3600 for the business professionals with the Raines Group.
Nuga Radio, digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM knows your opinion is important. So call 800-8949. Agree or disagree? Call 423-800-8949. 800-8949. Nuga Radio, 92.7 FM and 95.3 HD4. News Talk Nuga Radio.
Martin Truex Jr. is off the pace and he is headed to the pit lane. Elliott Powers around the outside. Michael McDowell pops a right front tire. Here's Martin Truex to the bottom. Blaney blocks him off too. Meanwhile, Chase Elliott went 4 wide on the back straightaway. They're side by side for the lead.
Hear it live on Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station.
Nuga Radio, 92.7 FM, 95.3 HD4.
The voice of NASCAR.
WPLZ HD4 Ottawa, W224AZ Chattanooga.
Serving Chattanooga.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe, the Tennessee Valley's most listened to news talk station.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by ZipRecruiter.
I'm Jim Taylor. George H.W. Bush is dead. CBS's Bob Schieffer remembers the 41st president.
He was very well qualified. He had been an elected politician. He'd been chairman of the Republican National Committee. Later on, he was the head of the CIA. He was our first envoy to China. And in the end, I think what we'll remember him for is, number one, the invasion of Iraq. When Saddam Hussein had invaded Kuwait, he drove him out. But I think even more important than that in history, he was the one who was in office when the Soviet Union came apart, when it collapsed.
CBS News correspondent Omar Villafranca.
His son, George W. Bush, the 43rd president of the United States, said George H.W. Bush was a man of the highest character and the best dad a son or daughter could ask for. Former President Obama said America has lost a patriot and a humble servant, and while our hearts are heavy today, they are filled with gratitude.
Former President George Bush was 94. Full-blown trade war with China. Can it be averted.
I'm Steve Dorsey in Buenos Aires, Argentina at the G20. President Trump's final event here today will be dinner with Chinese President Xi Jinping. The two are engaged in an escalating trade war. The president says he's open to a deal with China and thinks Xi may be as well.
Extensive damage in Anchorage, Alaska. 7.0 earthquake, rattling homes, shaking dishes, collapsing roads, and causing power outages. Here's Senator Lisa Murkowski.
The impact is very real. The impact is very hard, and it will require apparently a great deal of recovery.
No fatalities in the quake. The Trans-Alaska Pipeline, longest crude oil pipelines in the world, turned off temporarily. Michael Cohen, latest on the man that President Trump now calls weak.
Michael Cohen's own lawyers filed court papers in New York late Friday and assert that Cohen, who used to boast he would take a bullet for Donald Trump, has cooperated extensively with Russia election meddling investigator Robert Mueller and with New York State investigators who have brought a civil suit against the Trump Organization and individuals, including Mr. Trump. Michael Cohen's lawyers say his admitted crimes were committed in an abundance of enthusiasm for his ex-boss, Donald Trump. Tom Foti, CBS News, Washington.
It's a popular Christmas song, been around since the 40s. But during this Me Too era, the lyrics are an anachronism as the female wonders what's in this drink. Now a Cleveland radio station says it will no longer play that tune. This is CBS News.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified candidates for businesses of all sizes. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This holiday, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and HomeGoods have more toys than ever at incredible prices for all the kids on your list. Kids who love trucks, kids who like dolls, and kids who are obsessed with mermaids or unicorns or dinosaurs. Bookish kids, gamer kids, kids who like to play sports or play dress up. You've got kids to shop for. We've got tons of brand name toys at great prices. TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and HomeGoods.
This week, you'll find great deals at Walgreens. Like 8-ounce Dawn dishwashing liquid, just 99 cents with card. Or get select varieties of Kellogg's cereal, now just $1.88 with card. And kickstart your morning with McCafe 12-pack K-Cups, just $4.99 with card. Get great deals on the essentials you need right here at your neighborhood Walgreens. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. While supplies last, restrictions and exclusions apply. See store for details.
Greyhound racing has long been declining nationwide amid accusations of animal mistreatment. Long considered the sport's stronghold, Florida choosing to ban it, passing Amendment 13 in the midterms. Gloria Chapa reports.
The ban could leave as many as 8,000 dogs in the need of homes by the end of 2020. Michelle Weaver is vice president of Friends of Greyhounds in Broward County. She says that some dog breeders still hope the ban will be overturned.
There's still the hardcore base that says, no, this is what my grandparents did, my parents did, and we're going to keep the family farm.
Regardless of any future adoption problems, she is happy with the outcome.
We've been wanting greyhound racing to close down for years.
Gloria Chapa, CBS News.
It's December 1st. On this date in 1955, black seamstress Rosa Parks was arrested after refusing to give up her seat to a white man on a Montgomery, Alabama city bus. Hallmark of the civil rights movement. I'm Jim Taylor, CBS News.
3, 2, 1. Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
The Chattanooga Police Department confirmed that one of its own was arrested on sex charges. The Hamilton County Sheriff's Office took over the investigation. Benjamin Dessalines taken into custody. Chief David Roddy made it clear that his actions do not represent the department and the many officers who serve the Chattanooga community. The officer was charged with felony kidnapping and felony sexual battery. Dozens of people from East Ridge, Red Bank, and Chattanooga called 911 reporting booming sounds. It turns out it was the ATF conducting an explosives demonstration for the U.S. Attorney's Office. At least 2 explosives were detonated on Moccasin Bend. Nobody was hurt. Chattanoogan Sloan White Jr. was arrested accused of 3 counts of child rape. The grand jury indicted him Wednesday. The indictment says the crime happened sometime around June the 7th of 2012. The victim was younger than 13. The Sean Hannity Show, weekdays from 3 to 6. Russell Stroud, Chattanooga Radio News, Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Chattanooga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
Staying cloudy, wet, and mild out there through your evening hours. A little breezy as well with more showers pushing through. High 60 to 62. Tonight, any showers will diminish, staying mild overnight, but drier. Lows lower 50s. Beautiful Sunday, sunshine, upper 60s, a little cooler Monday. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's. Home with the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily. Locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm Swargene 12, Chief Meteorologist, Patch Report.
Radio 92.7.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Nooka Radio 92.7's First Responder Friday.
If you would like to nominate a first responder for First Responder Friday, email nookaradio@gmail.com. nookaradio@gmail.com.
Nooka Radio 92.7's First Responder Friday.
Celebrate the holidays at the Chattanooga Symphony and Opera's annual family tradition, Home for the Holidays, December 15th and 16th at the Tivoli Theater. Enjoy a concert filled with lively and classic holiday tunes from the most wonderful time of the year, as the CSO is joined by the CSO Chorus, Metropolitan Bells, and guest vocalist Dee Danasco. Pictures with Santa will be part of the festivities. Tickets are available by calling 423-267-8583 or online at chattanoogasymphony.org.
The station you hear everywhere. Nooka Radio 92.7.
Blitz is hour number 2. Keon Road, Jason Kirk joining me.
Somewhere in the back.
Jason, back row Baptist back there.
Yes, today's sermon. No, wait, what?
Which, by the way, not to derail anything, but just at the Masters, Amen Corner is my favorite. Is my favorite name of anything in sports ever.
Yes, Amen Corner.
That hole, just that. Yeah.
The what is it? The 2 holes that go around Amen Corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unbelievable. So there's a lot of college football today. Well, there's actually not a lot. There's college football today.
Well, there's a lot of college football in terms of the weight of it. Like, you know, the week before the rivalry week, we had no college football that mattered. And then we got championship games. We've got championship games this time, so I'm very excited about it.
I'm looking it up like I need to know what the games are. There's like really 4 games that matter anyway.
Yeah, you kind of slipping today.
No. I'm not good at multitasking.
No, well, that's okay.
But we'll start. We're gonna start with. I love how the first thing I pull up is Kareem Hunt getting released.
Yes,
but I'm sure you'll talk about
the commissioner. The commissioner had to put him on the exempt list. Otherwise, the Redskins would immediately sign him.
Yeah, because they did it with Reuben Foster.
And then they did it with Junior Gillette a few years ago, too.
Right,
the Redskins don't mind just signing scumbags if it means they got a chance to win. I'm going to go allegedly with Kareem Hunt because we haven't proven anything. But like, just guys that are just the worst people. They don't mind, and it hasn't really helped us. That's the other thing.
Nationals acquire Rion Gomes. Look at that.
Yeah, no, Nationals making moves.
The Braves
except for the one move that they want to make.
The Braves get a former AL MVP, and you get Rion Gomes.
Look, they're trying.
Josh Johnson.
They're still holding out hope that they're going to get Bryce. Really,
that ain't happening.
No, he's not coming back.
No, that ain't happening.
They already offered him a bunch of money before the season ended. He said no.
So again, really good slate today, starting at noon with Keon's Texas Longhorns.
Hook 'em.
Horns down.
Hook 'em, book 'em.
Hey, don't offend me. Don't offend me, man.
Horns down.
Where's the rules committee?
Are you going to take your headset off too?
Did you
put one on just to rip it off?
Did you see?
We got a broken one. We'll let you use.
Did you see the people that made the helmet, the OU helmet, where it's just fingers doing a horns down as the logo on the helmet?
I haven't seen that one.
That was outstanding. But
which that's so weak. I mean, but also though, horns down has been a serious offensive thing in the state of Texas forever. Everyone knows not to do this. I remember Vince Young's first year in the league. He got in trouble because he got into a fight at a bar. You know what the guy did at the bar? Horns down. Vince Young came over the table. You don't do that. You just don't do it. Granted, I think that if you're Texas, you just have to be tougher than that. Like that can't be.
You know how they stop this from happening?
They
win the ball game.
That's like that thing with Baker Mayfield, last season when they beat Ohio State and he took the flag and he planted it in the middle of the field, which I completely loved. You want to know how you stop him from doing that? Win, right? And that was not. Oh, that's an Ohio State team that was good enough to win that game, and they just didn't win it. So he takes your flag and plants it in the field. Next time, beat him. I don't have any. You don't want to see horns down. Score. Or stop people from scoring. One of the two.
Yeah, and they definitely the Big 12. They don't. Defense is optional.
They don't defense over there.
What's the defense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll break this one down a little bit. We'll start with this one, Keon, your favorite. I'm gonna let you go first. What's Texas got to do to repeat the upset?
Well, first off, Oklahoma's an 8-point favorite, and that sounds about right. But Texas has to play better defense than they did last time to close out the game. They played good defense for 3.5 quarters of that game, and then they got into turtle mode at the end. They were trying to just escape with a victory, and Kyler Murray lit them on fire. He scored 21 points in about 8 minutes, and I say he did because he had a gigantic run where he scored almost instantly. He had a monster pass. I think it was a 60-yard throw where they scored again almost instantly, and then he had a drive up the field where he almost used up all the clock. And yeah, everyone knows how that ended with Dicker the kicker putting
somebody hit the dump button.
I can't.
That's his name. You can't dump that. That is that man's name.
Dicker the kicker.
And he knocked it through and got them.
I feel like that's what Nick Saban feels about most of his kickers.
Yeah, right. Except that's not a compliment.
It's the one thing Alabama cannot recruit is a kicker.
Like Nick Saban cannot figure
out.
It's because he doesn't scholarship them.
Did you see the meme that I posted on my Facebook a couple months back with a garage and the car through the garage on the opposite side, and it said Alabama's field goal kicker going home.
I mean, it's unbelievable to see the best program in the last 15 years, and they can't make a field goal. Thank God they don't ever need to, because if they did, well, first off, they would have won the national championship in regulation last year if Papanastos could have kicked anywhere near the goalpost.
We also wouldn't have the kick six that keeps on getting played in our face over and over if he could have just, 3 more yards. 3 more yards.
In the same state as the uprights, they would have been able to win that game.
Hell, you don't even have to make the kick. Just make sure it gets out of bounds so they can't return it. Like, God almighty.
Hit the goalpost or something.
Or let it hit the ground or something. Like, just hit a worm burner that just goes and rolls. Like, something. And instead, no, we're going to kick it, and it's going to be a yard short, and he's going to return it 109 yards for a touchdown in the game. I remember watching that live, and I was like, "No!"
You cannot believe it.
My eyes were as wide as they've ever been in my life. I was like, "Oh no!" Saban is going to be so mad.
Tom Herman could recruit at least kickers. So
Dicker the kicker.
He's actually really good at recruiting. That is a Tom Herman strength.
He's a good kicker.
Not a Tom Herman strength. Taking responsibility for things and generally just sort of being really petty about everything.
Getting really upset.
Yeah, just on. And the thing is, that's what the players love. That he gets as angry about everything as they do.
You shouldn't get as angry as a 20-year-old.
Correct.
As a 45-year-old man.
But Tom Herman is trapped in a 20-year-old's body. That's just what, his mentality is. Him and Joey Freshwater are the two guys that are never growing up. They're never growing up.
Some Joey Freshwater.
They're the same for always. But Texas has got to close out defensively if they want to win this game. And Oklahoma really, if Oklahoma plays their game, they've got as good a shot as anybody of just being ahead from wire to wire.
Yeah, I think I'm a big proponent of kicking. If you win the toss to kick off and defer. However, if I'm Texas in this ball game and I win the coin toss, I want the ball.
Take it and score.
Because the only thing I don't want to do is get down. Because if I get down, I'm playing from behind the whole game, and that's not good.
Yeah, they played with fire already with this before because they played from behind the last game too, and it didn't look good going into halftime, and they were able to score before they got in there, and then Oklahoma for some reason had one drive to start the half where they 3 and out, and that's so rare for them. Texas was able to get back into the game, but you can't bet on that happening 2 games in a row. You really can't.
How many points can Oklahoma score and Texas still win the ball game?
Oklahoma can score 45 points.
And Texas can still win.
Yes.
Okay, I kind of agree with you here because I see this game being like 52-48, something along those lines. I think it's going to be a
high-scoring game.
First off, I think this is going to actually be the best championship game to watch today. Northwestern's playing Ohio State. Northwestern?
Yeah, Northwestern.
Out of Chicago.
Okay. You seem like you're about to take a nap.
Just like when you talk about,
I might not even watch that game.
I'm not going to.
No one should watch.
I'll keep up with it.
Entertainment value zilch.
There is one thing, and this was something that'll make Sam really upset. Big Ten football makes me want to pull my eyes out. It is absolutely painful. I hate it. Even their good teams are painful to watch. That Michigan-Ohio State game was atrocious.
Here's the thing that I thought the refereeing was awful. I thought the refs did everything in their power to keep Michigan in that game, and they still gave up 62 points. Also,
the most points ever scored by Ohio State in that game.
I don't think I liked Ohio State playing, and actually Ohio State this year has been absolutely fun to watch because they throw the ball.
Dwayne Haskins.
People don't throw the ball in the Big Ten, and I know it's cold and it's windy up there.
It won't be cold in a dome today.
But throw the ball. They just play football rather than, they play basketball too, like it's the Stone Age, but they play football like they're in the Stone Age.
No helmets, nothing. Take them all off.
My favorite thing in basketball with the Big Ten: pass it around the perimeter, take a really bad three, and they hold it for 28 of the 30-second play.
I got into a fight with a guy on Twitter because this guy was just like, because Wisconsin was playing a game earlier this week, and there's a kid that took 20 charges, and this guy was defending that as an exciting basketball play, and I was like, have you ever made a three or
saw anybody dunk the ball like Eve Pons did against Eastport Eastern Kentucky?
This is why you guys stay boring up in the Big Ten. You actually think taking a charge is an exciting, momentum swinging basketball play.
Now, to be fair, I watched a lot of the Big Ten ACC Challenge. There were some really good games. Syracuse and Ohio State was really good. That Michigan North Carolina game was really good. Okay, so there was two really good games. However, those are also teams you're talking about that are won. All 4 of those teams are going to be in the NCAA tournament, and 2 of them have a really good shot at winning a national championship in North Carolina and Michigan. So, I don't know that Michigan's the only Big Ten team that I find entertaining to watch, and they are so fun
because they play basketball like we play basketball in 2018.
Rastakis, that Canadian who just swishes threes like it's going out of style.
And Michigan has always been ahead of the rest of the Big Ten basketball wise. They play like they're in this century. The rest of that conference can go
Princeton offense.
It's bad. Like watching Ohio State hurts.
Yeah, I mean it's 2018.
They're good, but it hurts.
Use some ball screening action, please. Like this is 2018.
Can anybody in the Big Ten use a crossover? Any of them? Anybody?
Because they're all tall white guys.
Well, that's not taught in that conference.
I mean, let's be real. They're all unskilled white guys. That's why.
It's like Vanderbilt everywhere.
I mean, that's why they can't do anything entertaining, and that's why Michigan's ahead of everything because they have athletes, not tall, terrible shooters that happen to be from like Iowa and are cornbread fed and should be playing football.
Yeah,
and not basketball.
I probably do also play football, but just let's keep a little active, get some exercise during the off season,
and run up and down the court.
It's
and miss shots.
It's unreal.
But back to football. The real entertaining game is going to be that Clemson-Pittsburgh game. Can you tell the sarcasm in my voice?
It's heavily implied. It's that game is going to be
Clemson is favored
nightmare.
27.5 on this game.
They'll cover.
The only team beating Clemson on that field is Clemson. If they decide that, if they show up and just have an awful game, and even then,
I don't see them losing if they play like a C- game. I think they have to play D and below for them to even have a chance to lose.
Also, the bus might have to miss the stadium.
They just don't show up at all.
Yeah.
Like physically, not even like mentally, just physically don't
physically
show up.
not be there, and have to forfeit or something.
Not to mention the fact that defense was much maligned, how bad they performed last week against South Carolina. That means they're probably going to play really well today, and they have 3 guys who are going to get drafted on the defensive front. Guys like Christian Wilkins. So,
and Pitt could easily be in the Big Ten for how they don't throw the ball ever. So
they did when they had Nathan Peterman.
That's true,
and they were good then,
which is impressive.
Because Nathan Peterman was good in college, and then went to the NFL, and he's probably the worst NFL quarterback to ever play.
Probably very, very short run. I'm shocked that he got as much as. I remember because E.J. Manuel was once upon a time a Bill, and E.J. Manuel was on Twitter going, "How many chances does Nathan Peterman get? They didn't give me
2.
Yeah, they didn't give me this many chances, and I wasn't throwing interceptions like that."
Nobody throws interceptions like that. I don't think I throw interceptions like that.
I don't think it's possible. I actually thought it was impossible.
Oh, God, poor guy. Former Tennessee Volunteer, Nathan Peterman.
he wasn't that great when he was here, but
no, he was not, because
he was pretty solid.
Of course, the moron started him for his first career start in Gainesville.
Yeah,
as a freshman. Thanks, dude. Thanks. Okay. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so that game, really don't want to break down that one because that one's pretty awful.
You basically broke it down already.
Yep.
Clemson is better than Pitt. You could go deeper than that, but why would you have to?
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is really good. We can talk about that too. Trevor Lawrence can really sling the ball.
Also, too, Pitt's 7-5, Clemson's 12-0.
It's not as bad as Northwestern's 8-4. Okay. They're 8-4 in the Big Ten, and you're in the championship game in the Big Ten. You're supposed to be, as the Big Ten says, the best conference in football, and in your championship game is a team that is 8-4,
and that's because they're lopsided.
All their good teams are in the one division.
Yeah.
And I say all their good teams, both of them.
Yeah,
Michigan and Ohio State.
2 of them, Ohio State, Michigan. And
why would you put those 2 in the same division? They need to be cross-division rivals, so we see them 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, so you can see them 2 times in a year, the same way that you've got Oklahoma and Texas right now.
And
it's exciting.
Yeah, and so the SEC, however, continues to just promote its dominance as they have a 12-0 and an 11-1 team playing each other, both with a really good shot at making the playoffs.
So I would say the SEC is top heavy, but at least
I would agree with that. But I think that their top is deeper than most conferences, because I think you can probably go 5 or 6 deep, saying those teams are really good. I think you can go, obviously, Alabama, Georgia, LSU is good, Texas A&M's going. If they're not, I think you start seeing towards the end of the year that Jimbo's going to have that team really good going forward, especially when he gets his players in there. Mississippi State was really good this year. Mississippi State was solid. And then you got the problem is the East. Let's be very clear. Yeah. Florida's pretty good, but I think they benefited again from being in the East. The reason they went 9-3 is because they got to play Tennessee, they got to play Vanderbilt, Kentucky, which they lost, and Missouri, which they lost. So let's be real. How good is this Florida team, really?
It's not great.
I think the West is the SEC is division heavy, minus Georgia. You have, I think, everybody but Arkansas in the West is pretty good because Ole Miss can score with anybody.
Right.
Albeit they can't stop nobody.
And Mississippi State has their good years too.
Well, Mississippi State's been solid ever since Dan Mullen took over there. They're always solid. I think they went 8-4 this year. That's a very solid year for who you have to play in that division. I mean, you have to play. They beat Texas A&M. They lost to LSU, Alabama. They lost to Kentucky, and then they lost one other game. So I mean, I think the SEC's deep. I just don't think it's as deep as it has been. I think that your bottom teams are bad. Although I think last year was worse. I think even your bottom teams this year are a little bit better than they were last year.
That's true. I agree with that.
Minus Arkansas. Arkansas is a dumpster fire.
I would say conferences like the Big 12 and the Pac-12 don't have as high a peak, but from top to bottom.
But I think a lot of that also has to be is if your peak's higher, your valley's probably going to be lower too, because the gap. I mean, when you're playing out, when everybody's playing Alabama, you ain't winning.
Yeah.
So let's be very clear.
Nobody's beating them.
You ain't winning. So there's one loss. I mean, there was a point in time where the committee was saying that LSU's really just a one-loss team because that loss to Alabama doesn't matter. It doesn't count because it was Alabama.
Yeah.
That's why they ranked them 5th. But with a 2-loss team. They only really have one loss because they only the Alabama loss doesn't count.
Doesn't count, and it kind of shouldn't. Like when you watch Alabama play in the way that they have just smacked everyone around, it really shouldn't. I do think that the SEC, in terms of some of the offenses that we've seen, that's where it leaves a lot to be desired to me. Is Alabama's vaguely vulnerable in their secondary, which actually we saw against the Citadel for whatever reason.
I think that was on purpose. I think Nick Saban was bored.
Either way, which by the way, can we have real games before rivalry week? Can we do that?
SEC, go to a 9-game schedule. This fixes everything.
Go to a 9-game schedule, or what I want the committee to do is, and Georgia fans are going to hate me for this, is if Georgia loses today and still could get in, just leave them out. Just because what happens, like Texas, or not Texas, but the Big 12 tried to do that thing where they did the co-champions that year that Baylor and TCU.
Yeah, that worked out for them.
And the committee said, all right, neither of them get in. And that's, they were hoping that maybe they could get both, but at worst one, and then neither of them got in. And now the Big 12 has a championship game.
So we're going to actually do that in the last segment of the show. We're going to talk about playoff scenarios and situations that could arise from today's games. Again, you're listening to the Breakfast Blitz. I'm Nick Leffew, Keon Rose, Jason Kirk. This is Nooga Radio, 927 FM.
Three, two, one.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
A Bradley County jail inmate just got himself in a whole new world of trouble. The sheriff's office says Nathan Maddox improvised an incendiary device, used it to burn a hole in his window. They also found a makeshift rope in his room. Because there are 52 inmates and a guard in the cell block, he's been charged with 53 counts of aggravated arson, also charged with vandalism over $1,000 and attempted escape. 2 trucks slammed into each other in Hickson. Investigators say a Nissan truck headed south veered into the adjacent lane, crashing into a Ford truck. Both drivers taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Neither driver appeared to be impaired and no charges are pending. And for the first time ever, the Whitwell Tigers will head to Cookeville for a state football championship. There was a massive send-off party as Whitwell residents gathered to show their support for the home team. They face the Cornersville High School Bulldogs tomorrow in Cookeville. Val St. John for Nooga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News now.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga roofing contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
True
Jr. is off the pace and he is headed to the pit lane. Elliott powers around the outside. Michael McDowell pops a right front tire. Here's Martin Truex to the bottom. Blaney blocks him off too. Meanwhile, Chase Elliott went 4 wide on the back straightaway. They're side by side for the lead.
Hear it live on Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station.
Nuga Radio, 92.7 FM, 95.3 HD4.
The voice of NASCAR.
Merry Christmas. Well, let's take a look at the naughty and nice list. Well, let's see here. There's Sonny, and there's Deb, and even Eddie made the list too. Well, let's look at the naughty list. Well, there's Billy and Greg.
If you think you're on the naughty list, stop by Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds and get 70% off select merchandise in the store. Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road, Chattanooga.
For your small business, ending the year the right way can set you up for success come January. No need to let end-of-year panic set in. Easy Books and Taxes can help set up your books or new payroll service so that you can relax and enjoy the holiday season. With 35 years, bookkeeping, individual, and business tax preparation, it's easy. With Easy Books and Taxes, you run the business, we keep the books. Call us today at 423-755-0821.
Man, you sure you know what you're doing?
Yeah, I worked with my dad on his truck all the time. Just one more bolt to go.
Yeah, wrong bolt. Today's truck ain't your daddy's truck. For repairs on today's vehicles, you need Amco Transmission and Total Car Care of Chattanooga on Lee Highway. Stay on the road, not in the garage. Amco Transmission on Lee Highway. Get it done the right way. The Thompson Pet Way. Yeah, I just put that anywhere.
Hi, this is Scott Schrader. Tune in Saturdays for We've Got You Covered. From finance to fixtures and all things in between, when it comes to your home, we'll help steer you in the right direction. We've Got You Covered, 10 to 12 every Saturday on Nuga Radio, 92.7 FM.
Nuga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
Staying cloudy, wet, and mild out there through your evening hours. A little breezy as well with more showers pushing through. High 60 to 62 tonight. Any showers will diminish, staying mild overnight, but drier. Lows lower 50s. Beautiful Sunday, sunshine, upper 60s. A little cooler Monday. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's. Home with the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily. Locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm Sorgene Qualls, Chief Meteorologist, Hatch Report.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Welcome back to the final segment of this week's edition of the Breakfast Blitz. Believe it or not, it is December 1st. Actually, in December now. And it's Championship Saturday.
Here comes Santa Claus.
we broke down most of the Power 5 games. Jason's very, very hell-bent on talking about
I know how to push
UCF
buttons.
and Memphis.
Not hell-bent on that one.
And MTSU
Thank
and
you.
whoever they're playing.
UAB.
Oh, they're going to get slaughtered.
It's actually not that bad. UAB is only favored by a couple thousand.
So
they're only favored by one.
UAB, first off, if everybody doesn't know the story of UAB, that is a program who they decided to cancel their football program after the 2014 football season. Coach Bill Clark was very upset about it. He had plenty of opportunities to go elsewhere, to go be an OC, to do different things in the SEC, and he decided to stay in Birmingham and fight for this program. They got it back, and I believe this is their second year.
Second year.
And Tennessee, UAB is in their conference championship game. Bill Clark is head coach, and he just got a contract extension for 3 years. He's now extended through 2024 as UAB's head coach. I'm excited for MTSU to be where they are, but guys, I'm sorry, I'm pulling for UAB.
It's an incredible story.
Just because of the story and what Coach Bill Clark has done there. MTSU, home state team, but man, the cool thing that UAB and what they went through, and how the University of Alabama Board of Trustees basically was the reason why they got rid of the program, which to me is absolutely stupid that the University of Alabama can, which they're a part of the
It's a
university,
satellite school.
but they just cancel the program so they can put more money into Alabama football. Like
that's insane.
I mean, come on, that'd be like UT saying UTC going, sorry, we need more money for UT, so y'all are done.
But they could get rid of UT Martin, though. I'm just saying
they could get rid of UT Martin. I don't think anybody would be too upset.
No,
but Birmingham actually has football fans in it.
Yeah, they do.
So
a lot of
canceling
football.
that
You're
program.
talking about where SEC Media's days were forever.
Well, it's the home of the conference too.
And UAB was. I'm never going to sit here and say that UAB was, a juggernaut, but they were always in their level, in their group of 5. They were always a good program. And because who doesn't want to play football in the South? And I mean, they care about it. People go to those games, and so it's good for them. I hope they play well. If MTSU wins, I'm not going to be upset.
No, it's just one of those games. Neither I'm not going to be mad.
But I'm really happy for UAB to be able to continue to grow the program and to have an opportunity. I think here in the next couple of years, they're actually coming to Knoxville, and that's going to be exciting to get to see that program again up in Knoxville. We play them. We used to play them all the time. Yeah. Just because of one, I mean, it's right here, and it's a pretty good group of 5 program to play. It doesn't look as bad on your schedule as playing like UTC, which we do,
or the Citadel, which Alabama did last week.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
And then we got
Georgia Southern, which they played 2 years ago.
They played better against Auburn than they did the Citadel.
Yeah, they went to halftime tied, and
I think that was on purpose. I think Nick Saban he had his coordinators call plays to put them in really bad situations. They didn't handle it well.
Yeah, it could have been it to see how they would do.
Yeah, and I mean, I truly believe that's the way Nick Saban operates in those kind of games. Because if you ever watch, those kind of games are always the games they struggle the most in, and I'm pretty sure it's by design.
True. And then we got Memphis playing the other champions of last year, UCF.
Yeah, it should be an interesting ball game. However, without Mackenzie Milton, Memphis is always the one team that gives UCF problems in that conference.
But they haven't ever beaten UCF in the title game.
No.
6 times, 6 losses.
So it's going to be interesting to see. I think it's going to be a really good game. Mike Norvell is a great coach at Memphis. And then obviously Josh Heupel is the head coach now at UCF. Should be interesting to see. I think that one I might actually watch that game.
Yeah, no, that's going to be actually an interesting matchup. That one's 3:30.
It's a 3:30 game on CBS Sports Network.
The problem is the SEC championship starts at 4.
You can flip back and forth.
So, yeah, or you can at least watch the beginning of that one and
start it off.
Jump around.
I'm interested to see how UCF responds without Mackenzie Milton. I think that's going to be huge. And I was watching that game last Saturday, and oh my gosh, when he got hurt, it made it sent shivers. I watched that leg just
too many leg injuries. I watched the Alex Smith one.
Yes.
And then of course Joe Theismann had to bring it and talk about himself. And it's like my leg
because it happened on the same day and
same teams.
And the score was the same.
Everything was the same.
Like it really was like really freaky. The only difference was it wasn't Lawrence Taylor this time.
Yeah. I feel bad for Alex Smith. That might end his career. At his age. Now, if he was younger, it
probably doesn't. And I'll hold out hope that medical technology is advanced enough that maybe this doesn't end it for him.
We can save him.
But man, it is that's a rough thing to see. And then of course with Mackenzie Milton, like you just see that happen to college kids.
A kid who was going to get drafted. Let's be very clear. He was going to. Now I don't know if he will. Because now you just, as an NFL team, can you take the chance of him ever being the same?
I think
maybe later on, maybe if you take him like 5th, 6th, 7th round.
Yeah.
But golly, can you waste a pick? Those valuable picks.
I think you go undrafted with him. Let him.
It could work out though. Yeah. I mean, it could really work out, and you could get a guy that's an undrafted free agent and be outstanding with it.
I think you could also get a guy that, because he's really smart, and you just get a guy that maybe is just watching. And you don't have to worry about, well, do I start him if things get really bad? Like, no, he's injured, and wait till he is healthy enough to play again. It's tough to see that though. And I hope he does get a chance to have a career.
He should, and I think he does. But
going later than the draft makes sense. Though.
Yeah, I don't even know if he gets drafted, but if he does, it's going to be day 3 now? Is there 3 days
day
for the
3,
draft?
last pick.
Yeah. So we'll move. There's a lot of different scenarios where this could happen with these playoffs. Caller.
Hey. Who's the best play-by-play guy in Chattanooga?
In Chattanooga?
Me.
Yep.
Who
said me?
That'd be Jason.
But I was going to say me. He just beat me
right.
To it. The answer is Keon Rose. The answer is Keon Rose.
I would think long and hard. Who is it?
It's Keon Rose.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is.
Sam Jordan.
No, I quit.
I was going
Sam Jordan is. No, I'm being serious. Sam is the best play-by-play guy in Chattanooga.
I strongly disagree. But
no question about it.
Competitive
He's
bias.
better than every single one of you combined.
I was going to go Larry Ward.
But now since Sam isn't there, I want every one of you to say one nice thing about Sam. I just did. Jason, you're next.
All right, Jason, it's on you to say one nice thing about Sam.
Sam is a team player.
Oh, God. You went with that?
Keon, you're next.
Sam is a very supportive guy. He has your back. I mean,
yes,
he does look out for the people that work here.
He does. We broke down
and that with he saved my job. Okay, Dick, you're next.
He gave me a chance to fill in for Keon one day, and then it led to this. So I'm thankful for him more than anything.
Yeah. Were you what's the eulogy? Our eulogy is with Sam and not with Bush.
Agreed. I can do that. I can give Sam a eulogy, even though he's in Dalton.
He's alive. Is the thing. You eulogize dead people.
Sam passed away early this morning doing play-by-play. Let you guys know.
We bust his chops. But
play-by-play in Dalton.
We bust his chops.
Play-by-play on the interstate.
Look at all the traffic.
And there comes Scar around the corner. He's going to pass the semi.
With 1 foot.
Good stuff. Bye.
And I will say this right quick about Sam. We had an incident in Miller Brainerd Road Wednesday. We had a car to break down. One of our employees' vehicles broke down. Sam was there and took care of us. So I will say Sam's a great guy.
You mean it wasn't Sam's car that broke down?
No, it was not Sam's car that broke down.
Here's the thing.
Sam will always take care of you.
Sam.
He will.
We're going to have nice things to say about Sam whenever Sam dies, but Sam is still alive.
So therefore we can be mean.
So that's 1. 2, his hat's still ridiculous. None of that has changed. Not one, all the nice things that we just said about him. And 3, I would still take me at play-by-play over everyone.
Well,
that's just
I can name people in this town. You're in the top 5, though.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm just saying.
Anyway,
you're in the top 5.
Let's not argue about who the best play-by-play guy is in Chattanooga. Let's worry.
I'm just whenever you have an athlete and you ask the person like who's the best at whatever this is, like what else are they supposed to say? You're supposed to say me. You're supposed to think you're the best. That's all I'm saying.
I did straight up, and I don't even do play-by-play.
not one day of play-by-play, but hey, you got to.
I do you do what you can.
It's about the competition.
These playoff scenarios. There's a lot. Do you like my non-segue into this? I just went right into
walked over to it. Hey, now playoff scenarios.
There's a lot of different things that can happen. Most likely, what I think is going to happen is that we're going to go chalk. I think it's going to be really chalk today. I think Alabama's going to take care of business. I think Oklahoma does end up winning a very close game against Texas. I could see it going either way. And then obviously Ohio State is just going to destroy Northwestern unless they come out and lay an egg like they did against Purdue. So
which is possible, which would prove everyone's point.
Which is very possible. But if everything goes chalk, and Oklahoma wins a close one, and Northwestern falls to Ohio State and Georgia loses to Alabama, I think Oklahoma goes on. I just think they have a better body of work than Ohio State. Everybody talks about Ohio State. It's their one game that they had last week, and the body of work's just not there for Ohio State, in my opinion. Now, if they come out and they dominate again and The committee may have, a tough decision to make between them and Oklahoma. But again, if that's what happens, in my opinion, Oklahoma should go over Ohio State. Just again, body of work. I think. And a lot of people say, well, if you just line them up, play them against each other, who wins the ball game? I think they're very close. I don't know. I think you could play it 10 times and Ohio State wins 5 and Oklahoma wins 5.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. They're both also bad at defense. Ohio State could come to the Big 12 and fit right in.
This year, anyway.
This year, anyhow, yeah. But I will say this about Oklahoma. Their body of work in terms of wins and losses, very compelling. Their body of work in terms of defense, they are not only the worst defense in the Big 12, they're historically one of the worst defenses the Big 12 has ever had. They've given up 128 points in the last month. No one else has ever done this.
Yeah,
and I think
that's a fair concern. But the problem is, I always just go back to I look at the eye test. To me, Oklahoma just looks, and yeah, their defense is awful, but they just look better than Ohio State right now.
Yeah, and if you want to put the two teams up against each other, Oklahoma's offense can more than cover for their awful defense, because that's what it's been doing all year. I mean, even in the West Virginia game, which came down to just the final seconds of that game, I don't know that I ever felt that Oklahoma was going to lose. It just, the way that they were playing, they were scoring at will. It's
okay. So let's let some chaos ensue.
All right.
I'm all about chaos.
That was if everything goes the way you think it's going to go.
Chalk. Let's say Georgia wins and beats Alabama. I think if that happens right there, you're 4 already locked in.
You're no matter what anybody else does, if Georgia wins, I think Georgia gets in.
I think Georgia moves up to 3, Alabama drops to 4, Clemson to 1, Notre Dame to 2, and then there's your 4. The sad part in all this is Notre Dame just gets to squeak by and not have to do anything this week, which is an absolute joke.
Here's the real question.
Mm-hmm.
Should Notre Dame, A, be in a real conference football?
100%.
Yeah.
And B, should they not play a championship?
Agree. I think they should have to be in a conference. I completely agree. I personally, if I was on the committee, I wouldn't let them in because they're not in a conference. And I'm sorry, I know that maybe sounds stupid, but the fact that you don't play in a conference and you just get to pick whoever you play every year, sorry.
No one else gets to do that. People get to schedule real games, and you get games that you can't dodge. Because nobody would schedule Alabama on purpose. If you
Tennessee ain't play them every year unless they have to. And they do.
Nobody would walk into that buzzsaw intentionally every single year. And the same thing goes for Alabama. Alabama has to play a bunch of SEC schools that because look, when they do get the chance to schedule a game, they schedule the Citadel. They don't want to. No. They just have to. And if you're Notre Dame, you don't have to, and you get to get by on not doing it.
I do believe Notre Dame is good. I believe they're really good.
Yeah, they're actually legitimate.
The problem is, I don't think it's fair, the fact that they don't have to play in a championship game. And people will say, well, Alabama didn't play in a championship game last year and they got in. Yeah, that's fair, but they also played an SEC schedule. Yeah. And they lost 1 game to Auburn, who went to the championship instead of them.
They got knocked out of the championship game, which is different from simply not ever having to play it. That's 1 game less of wear and tear. Yeah. You don't have that other teams are still playing to get in and have to put on themselves.
So if it was me, I personally, as a committee member, I'd say no, Notre Dame shouldn't even be in the top 4.
And the committee has the ability to change the way schools operate. They do by who they choose to let in.
If we allow Notre Dame in, they're going to just continue to do what they always do, and that's fine if that's the way that wants to work. But let's just be clear: Notre Dame's in. They're not. There's no way.
There's no
chance in hell that they're not going to be in. They're undefeated.
I'm just saying that what the committee did with Baylor and TCU that first year of the playoff, I actually liked it. I'm not. First off, I don't mind that other Big 12 schools are suffering.
Yeah.
So there's that. But I actually kind of like TCU. I would have thought it would have been cool if they would have gotten in, but it doesn't matter because you need a championship game. That was the reason why they didn't let either of those schools in, is that you can't just declare a champion and just have them go in, like win your conference, but actually play a game to win your conference.
I'm the champion.
That's fair. And the same thing goes for Notre Dame. They don't have to play a game to win a conference.
Are you okay?
Yeah, my shoe fell off.
Wait, what?
My shoe fell off.
Like playing footsie with yourself over there.
So there's a scenario. There's a scenario over here where it says if how does Clemson get in if they lose to Pitt? Well, they're not going to. So let's not even entertain that one. Georgia, we talked about this. Georgia can still easily get in if they lose, just by the fact that if Oklahoma and Ohio State both lose, Georgia's in.
If Georgia loses within 2 scores of Alabama, they're in.
Not if Ohio State and Oklahoma win.
Right. If those two other teams lose, by the way. Yeah. Obviously if they win, they're in, obviously. But if they're the only school of the 3 schools, because I asked you actually during one of the breaks, who would you rather be between Ohio State, Oklahoma, and Georgia? And you said Oklahoma, because you win and you're in, basically.
Yeah. Unless Georgia wins.
Unless Georgia wins. But I could make an argument for Georgia, because if you win, you're in. And if you lose, there's still a chance that you could get in. You're the only.
You just
team,
need a lot of help, though.
Yeah. Because you lose to Texas and you're Oklahoma, you're toast.
Yeah.
There's no way. And if you lose to Northwestern, you deserve to be toast if you're Ohio State.
Well, Ohio State shouldn't even be where they're at now. But
they're still just a one-loss school. Their one loss is awful, but they did beat Michigan, who at the time had the best defense in the country.
Well, that's true. With that one
and they
loss,
put up
though,
62 on them. So I'm not saying that writes the whole thing, but if you're the committee and you're looking at it, you go, okay, which Ohio State team is the real Ohio State team? But there is some version of it where Ohio State is actually a quality team that deserves to be here and gave themselves a chance even after that loss. Because we put dirt on their grave after that game. And, things shook out to where they'd have a chance right now. I think they have to bury Northwestern, but that's just me.
I think they will today. I really do. I think Ohio State will probably play. If they can continue to do what they did last week, if they can just continue to show that they are as good as they should be, then the committee's got a tough choice when it comes to Oklahoma and Ohio State. However, in my opinion, again, I'm going to choose Oklahoma over Ohio State. A lot of that could be hatred bias because I just hate Ohio State so much.
It could be.
But I also just think about I'm not going to get over the way that they looked against Purdue, and I'm also not going to get over the way they looked against Maryland in a win.
Yeah,
they looked awful.
It's rough.
Yeah, but a struggle wins a win, though.
But is it though? Not in this not in this the way that this is set up. Wins aren't wins.
Yeah, and it's also so subjective when you have a committee that I think we do have to look at it and go, how real are you if you can't blow Maryland away?
One last comment before we're done here today, and Scott Schrader comes on here with We Got You Covered Radio. Maybe. What if you're Alabama and Alabama loses? Not will they still be in, because they will. Should they be? They lose the conference championship game. Should you be in?
Yes and no.
I think they should, just because I think they're the best team in the country, even if they lose today.
Mm-hmm.
But the committee's made it very clear that they love the fact that you should be a conference champion. But they've proven in the past that doesn't matter.
Right. They set a precedent last year with Alabama.
Well, 2 years ago, even when Ohio State didn't win and they got in over Penn State, who won that conference? So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. But you've been listening to the Breakfast Blitz. I'm Nick Leffew, Keon Rose, Jason Kirk.
The best play-by play.
Enjoy Championship Saturday and enjoy the NFL tomorrow. It's going to be a good weekend of football. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.
Three, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news. Now.
A Bradley County jail inmate just got himself in a whole new world of trouble. The sheriff's office says Nathan Maddox improvised an incendiary device, used it to burn a hole in his window. They also found a makeshift rope in his room. Because there are 52 inmates and a guard in the cell block, he's been charged with 53 counts of aggravated arson, also charged with vandalism over $1,000 and attempted escape. 2 trucks slammed into each other in Hickson. Investigators say a Nissan truck headed south veered into the adjacent lane, crashing into a Ford truck. Both drivers taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Neither driver appeared to be impaired and no charges charges are pending. And for the first time ever, the Whitwell Tigers will head to Cookeville for a state football championship. There was a massive send-off party as Whitwell residents gathered to show their support for the home team. They face the Cornersville High School Bulldogs tomorrow in Cookeville. Val St. John for Nooga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News now.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM.